Hey guys, today I am going to be doing something a little bit different for my channel. I've never done one of these kinds of videos before, but I'm going to do a review slash first impressions of the new Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation. So this is like a reformulation of the original HD foundation. I picked up the shade R230. I feel like I'm pretty confident this is going to be a good match. This was the lightest colour that they had with a pink undertone, not a yellow undertone, so I think it's going to be a pretty good match. Apologies for my wet hair. I am literally just out of the shower. I just wanted to record this really quickly before we go out for the day. It's Saturday here. We're going to go into the city. It's going to be really hot. Right now it is 11 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if you can see that. And it is 23 degrees Celsius. I think it's going to get up to 28 degrees. Really, really sunny, really, really hot. So it's a really good day to really put this foundation through its paces. And I'm going to be bringing a little point and shoot camera with me to kind of record throughout the day to show you how it's faring on my skin. So unfortunately, because I'm going to be outside in the sun all day today, I can't not put sunscreen on. So I know that that's probably going to affect the longevity of the foundation. It's probably going to make the foundation break down a little bit quicker than it would otherwise. So that's something to bear in mind. I'm going to be using my Olay Regenerist SPF 30. This is a pretty lightweight sunscreen though, so hopefully it shouldn't speed up the breakdown process too quickly. I'm going to use my Real Techniques buffing brush to apply this because that's pretty much how I always apply my foundation, with a brush like this. And I'm going to first of all pay my respects to the foundation reviewing goddess. It's Judy time. I'm totally going to take inspiration from how she does her reviews because I think she just reviews things flawlessly. I'm going to do one side of my face first so you can kind of compare and see the coverage. And I have breakouts on both sides of my chin, so that's going to give you a really, really good indication on how well it covers. I'm going to give it a good shake. Okay, it's quite liquidy. Dip my brush in. That is an awesome match. Fantastic. It's really, really smooth. It's quite, it has that kind of, like very runny consistency of, you know, the newer kind of foundations that are coming out, the newer formulas of foundations that are coming out now. Coverage looks to be really good. Actually, I need a closer mirror. Coverage is good, but I can actually still see, I can still see my freckles. Okay, so you can see how well it is covered. It has definitely taken down a lot of the redness in my skin, especially around my nose and on my chin. You can kind of still see the breakouts on my chin. It hasn't completely covered those up. The breakouts that have almost more of a purpley tone, it hasn't really covered them. And you can still see my pigmentation, like my freckles. You can see the kind of, yeah, you can still see those peeking through, but overall the skin looks a lot more even. So I would say this is a medium coverage foundation. It's definitely not a full coverage. And it's hard to say what the finish is going to be like just because I have that sunscreen underneath. So I know that that's making it look probably a little bit shinier than it would otherwise. But I'll do the other side of my face and yeah, I'll come back. Okay, so that's it all over my face, and yeah, I think it looks really, really nice. My skin looks really even, but you can still see the pigmentation. You can still actually see my skin through it, so it doesn't look like a mask. In terms of smoothing, I have a bit of dryness around my nose and also on my chin where I've had breakouts, and it's not highlighting it, but it's not really concealing or covering it either. I can definitely see like a little bit of kind of flaky skin, but it's looked worse. Other foundations have made that look worse. But for example, I'm also kind of testing out the Armani Luminous Silk foundation at the moment, and that definitely makes my skin look a bit smoother. So I know that there are foundations that also make it look smoother, but overall, I really like how my skin looks. So I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup and then come back and we'll do the flash test. And that's the foundation with the rest of my makeup on. So I'll list all of the products that I'm wearing on my face in the description box down there. I always struggle to say in the description box. And I've set the foundation with a little bit of the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I wanted to use a powder that doesn't have any coverage, just so it didn't really alter how the foundation looks. But the foundation kind of settled to a satin finish before I put the powder on. Now the one thing, I am kind of hyper aware of my pores. I feel like the foundation has kind of settled into my pores a little bit, and I have a little bit of an orange peely effect on my skin. So again, that's kind of down to the smoothness. So it wasn't really great at kind of minimizing the look of the flakiness, and I'm definitely aware of my pores. So now we need to do the flash test. So first of all, I'm gonna have to turn off like a million lights. that is pretty good. It doesn't seem to have flashback. My face looks like it's the same colour as my neck, although I'm so pale that sometimes I wonder if it's possible for me to look like I have flashback. My skin does actually look pretty smooth, although a little shiny. It does look quite shiny on my hot spots, and I know that I'm not shiny, like I'm not oily. So that could be the sunscreen underneath though. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go now. Poor Paul is waiting downstairs for me to finish this. But I'm going to bring this camera with me and kind of touch base with you throughout the day to show you how it's lasting. So, okay, catch you later. So it is 12 minutes past 12. I just wanted to give you a real up close look in natural light so you can see the realness. You can definitely see some pore action. But overall, I think my skin looks really even. Okay, let's see how we go. Okay, so we just stopped for lunch and I am ashamed to say it's after my top. The foundation I feel like has worn off in quite a few areas. I didn't bring a compact mirror with me, I don't know why. So I think it's worn off quite a bit around my nose where I was wearing my sunglasses and also on my chin, but nothing ever lasts on my chin. But I don't feel like I'm as shiny as I expected to be. Like, so honestly, although I probably don't look great, this is pretty good for my kind of skin, especially for walking around in the sunshine for a couple of hours. So, oh, by the way, it is 2:36, so it's been like probably 3 hours since I first put it on. So I'll check back with you a little bit later. So I am back in the house. It is 6:15, so I've had my makeup on for just over 6 hours, and I have to say I'm actually really impressed with this foundation. I wasn't really sure about it midway through the day because I couldn't really see properly because I didn't bring a mirror like an amateur, but as soon as I got in the house I had a look in the mirror and I was really surprised at how well my skin still looked. So I mean you can probably see, I am shiny, especially in the kind of hot spots like on my cheek here and my forehead, and it has worn off in some areas, my chin especially, because I have a really bad habit of picking that area, especially if I have breakouts, and I do have some breakouts down here. So I probably just absent-mindedly was, I know that's gross, but it's a bad habit of mine. So it's kind of rubbed off here and where my sunglasses were hitting my face here. But everywhere else, it's actually held up really, really well. My blush is still on. It hasn't like gathered in my smile lines, and it hasn't really gathered around my nose either. And overall, I feel like I could really, really quickly fix this with a bit of concealer and a bit of powder. I haven't powdered at all since the start of the day. And I think considering that I had that sunscreen on underneath and it was such a hot, humid day in Sydney and we were walking and, you know, we were quite active today. So consider all that into consideration, I think that this foundation has performed really, really well, and I look forward to using it over the coming weeks and kind of testing it with different primers and different powders and maybe setting sprays and seeing if I can find a combination that makes it last even more. But yeah, so far really, really impressed. I give that a really big thumbs up, and it hasn't given me any new breakouts, which might sound strange, but my skin is really sensitive to foundations. If my skin doesn't like a foundation, I will break out within a couple of hours of wearing it, so no new breakouts yet. So I hope you find that review useful, and if you would like me to do more of these kind of first impression reviews, let me know in the comments. If there's a foundation in particular you would like me to try out, just leave me a comment down below. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!